everyone, welcome back to Indiethon Summer 2023. Sorry for the technical difficulties, just stuff happens. We have RuffledBricks playing Yazzie on the ZX Spectrum, but before we take that away, we have one donation from Mirf that is $20 saying, I would say that my donation is happening, so I don't spend all my money on indie games in the Steam sale, but we all know that isn't going to stop me. Good luck to all the runners, and let's keep supporting an amazing cause. No incentives for this one, but please, if you have any money that you want to put towards any incentives, then please do so in the tracker. So yeah, RuffledBricks, take it away.
Alrighty then, thank you very much. Hello everyone. I'm on slightly earlier than I anticipated, but this is Yazzie. This is one of two ZX Spectrum games I'm going to be playing on today's Indiethon, largely because I've run out of worm speedruns to do on this marathon for the time being. But this is a modern ZX Spectrum game from, I believe it's like 2019. It was developed by someone called Dennis Grashev for a competition. And yeah, we're going to start this off in 3, 2, 1, and start the timer. So yeah, this is Yazzie. This is basically a clone of the old ZX Spectrum game Load Runner. Well, there are hints of other Spectrum games from the past as well, like Chucky Egg and all those kind of things. Maybe a little Bubble Bobble here and there. Object with this game is we play Yazzie, the marshmallow-looking fella. Who just died by touching the marshmallow-looking fellow with ears. Basically, the object of this game is Yazzie is a gold hunter. Therefore, we want to get all the gold in each level, and that will progress us to the next level. That is the sum total of the lore in this game, out of the way. So 20 levels, so this run goes by pretty quickly for the most part. Here we introduce the dynamic of the bridges that you can activate there using the action button. The enemies, as you'll notice, are a little wayward. They are heavily RNG influenced, and so what we do in some of these levels is what I call pre-spawn routes. So you'll notice as the enemies spawn, they have some iframes for about 5 seconds each before they start becoming a threat. On this particular level and on several others, I have a specific route that I do at the beginning of the level so that I can get certain harder to reach bars of gold before they become a kind of blockage towards them. Now here they spawn right above a fire pit, so they fall straight into it and they'll just fall down and die. But as you can see, they do respawn afterwards. This also introduces the mines in the game. These landmines take 5 seconds to explode. They don't actually damage Yazzie or the enemies, but because of the delay of them triggering, they can cause problems in at least one of the later levels. Now, this is probably the first real run killer level, this one. It's a pretty of a tricky layout to navigate. We need to get just the one pickaxe. You notice we get pickaxes here, which we can use to cut through a block underneath us. And each pickaxe only has one usage. In some of the levels, you have to use all the pickaxes that are available. In others, like this one, you can, you only need to use 1 or 2, maybe. Now, this level here highlights Yazzie's special ability, which is that he can't jump. Fortunately, there is this wonderful warp plane that you can see at the top of the left and right of the level, which means that we can fall down the bottom and up to the top again. And here we're basically just trying to do this with 2 cycles on each side of the level. The enemy here is being a little bit vigilant. We want him to drop up. There we go. That's pleasing. And then we can just drop down. And I'm going to use the spare pickaxe that we got there, just to do a little shortcut to get to that bit of gold. Here's another notable pre-spawn route here. As you can see, we're trying to get this bunch of gold here before these enemies really start moving. And we have to drop down to the bottom twice so that we can get those 2 floating blocks. Okay, getting pinioned slightly, but that's fine. He's fallen off the side. Going over to the left now to grab this bar, and then this one. Now, need to be careful with this dude. He's put the bridge through, and he's stopped. Now, I noted that the enemy's movement is RNG led. What I haven't mentioned yet is you can manipulate them ever so slightly. And that is... Wait, do I get... Yes, I get these ones now. You can manipulate them by standing in their eye line. And in many cases, not necessarily all, but in many cases, they will start running towards you in that situation. And once they do start doing that, they don't tend to let up until they get you. Now, as you can see there, we have to do some very precise kind of, well, not very, but like, you know, pretty much precise pickaxing there to ensure that we get all the golds on the way down. Because we only have a fixed number of pickaxes on that last level, so if you get them in the wrong place, you do have to reset the level. You have infinite lives on this game, so you can't actually game over in it, which is good. This one here is basically just a recurring staircase. And just trying to hope that the enemies sort of stay out of the way as much as possible. You notice with these soft platforms as well, the green ones, that we can actually just drop through them like so. But yeah, there we go. That's all good. And now we go into the green levels. And this first one, we want the enemies to stay. 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 Good boys. Good boys. The reason we want them to stay is because if they stay on top of that platform whilst I drop down to grab the gold bars, then I can do this entire level in 1 lap, like so. If they drop down before we get up there, then you have to do it in 2 laps, and it's much less convenient. This level I like to affectionately refer to as the crankshaft because, well, if you're a fan of the original Lemmings game, you may be familiar with the level that I am referencing there. But basically, this one's a little bit tough. As you can see, there's a big warp plane again across the entire level. So, you know, the direction that we go through here is kind of lateral. And this enemy is getting in the way again. We need to use the pickaxe here just to get through to this last one. And we got it. There we go. Now, number 13 here is the first of 2 levels that I like to refer to as the YOLO pyramids. Because they're both broadly pyramid shaped and, well, you don't really have a huge amount of control over over how they go. They are very RNG related, so you just have to hope that the enemies get out of the way. Now, just cutting through a hole there to get to those gold bars. Slightly quicker if I do it on the way down, like so. We have to get these 2 gold bars in the middle last, because as I mentioned earlier, Yazzie can't jump, so once you're in there, you are pretty much trapped. Here's the other YOLO pyramid. This one is slightly easier. We use this pre-spawn route here where we clear the left side of the level first. Then we're going to grab these 2 gold bars. Want this lad to get out of the way. There we go. Drop down the right. Oh, that was clumsy. Okay, so let's try that again. So yeah, this is very straightforward. You notice you get 2 pickaxes on this one. Technically, you don't need them, but it does make the end of the level a fair bit quicker. Because, as you can see, these gold bars... I'm going to go around just to be on the safe side here. Gold bars at the bottom are on these very long platforms. And so what we can do, just to shortcut a little bit here, is we can just cut through like so to ensure that we can get those last 6 gold bars in rapid succession. Now this one is another fairly RNG heavy level. You'll notice we've got the bridges here, and we need the enemies to activate their bridges so that we can actually get down to the bottom. You also need to get at least 1 pickaxe of the 2 on the way down so that we can actually cut a hole through to the warp plane that will take us back up to the top. And an ideal... Oh, okay, that is a reset. It just went off in my hand. Right, let's start this bridge again. So go over here. So we're grabbing these top 2 gold bars while we're waiting for the enemies to figure out what they're doing. Okay, so we've got 2 bridges to the left, 1 to the right. The most ideal configuration is when they all do bridges on the same side at the same time, because that gives you a bit of a better better means for getting the gold bars. Now this is okay. Good. Right, there we go. Just waiting for that little gap. Oh, there's one. I missed the one over to the right. Goodness. I see the boy over there knew. It's fine. We got it. There we go. Ideally, you can get like a like 2-lap version of that level, but like it's pretty infrequent that happens. This level is a surprisingly easy one, considering we are 3/4 of the way through the run now. There's no real hooks or gimmicks with this. As you can see, we just got these ladders here, plenty of room to dodge the enemies and just grab the gold bar. As long as you go to the left-hand side at the beginning, then you're generally fine on that one. This level is fairly hard in comparison because not a huge amount of room up the top here. There's these mines that we have to... basically, you'll notice there's a whole bunch of gold bars at the bottom. And to get down there, we need to go through these mines. But as I mentioned earlier, the mines take 5 seconds to go off. So because of that, you can end up in some tricky situations here where the enemies will drop down into the pit with you while you're waiting. Fortunately, there's some pickaxes there that you can use to speed up your descent through the one block platforms there. Now this one here, we've got to get the gold bars from each of the sides of the level, and to do that we need to grab a significant amount of pickaxes first, including one from each of the top corners here, because there are 12 pickaxes in this level in total, and to be able to complete it we need 11 of them. So the fact that we've got the top right one, sorry, means that we are sorted. Enemies are well out of the way, which is very pleasing. And boom. On to the penultimate level now, and a very important pre-spawn route that we're doing here, which is to drop down here, go into the fray, up there, manage to just sneak past in there. And basically we've got all the pickaxes we need now, which means we can go to the outside and grab the gold. This level is like so much more difficult if you don't get the pickaxes as quickly as possible like that, because the enemy spread is particularly difficult. And now finally we have the most frustrating level in the game. The last level, the run killer to end all run killers. This one is basically, we just have to decide whether the RNG seed that we get is worth it or not. You'll notice loads of mines here, once again, and we are, we're having to wait 5 seconds again for those to explode. And now we need to wait for the enemies to get out of our way to lead a clear path to get the remaining 4 pieces of gold. So the first thing we need to do is try and avoid this enemy. Now we're hoping that he will fall off to the right at some point. There isn't really a way that we can force him to do that. We can try setting off the mine. We're about to get fallen on, I think, by that lower enemy. Fortunately, he has dropped down, so that is good. And he's dropped down again. Right, that is excellent news. So, right, however, one of them fell into the fire, which means they've just respawned right in front of the gold bar and the pickaxe that I'm looking for. However, he has very kindly dropped off the end, so we are pretty much in the clear now. I'm just going to wait on this platform here next to the mine button, just to give myself a moment for that guy to get out of the way. He's thinking about it, and he's gone. And time is going to be when we see the end screen, which is time. And
GG!
There we go. Thank you very much. That is the pund of the game. Yeah, so that is Yazzie. It's a nice little speedrun. Highly recommend this game for well, anyone really. Anyone who likes platformers with an old school feel to them. Not particularly difficult to learn. So do check out the speedrun.com page if you've not seen it. And also check out the Spectrum speedrunning Discord, or the Speedtrum spec running Discord as it is known, where we talk a lot about the speedrunning of various select Spectrum games, old and new. But yeah, that's one of the 2 Spectrum games I'm going to be doing in this particular marathon. So yeah, Charles, anything that you would like to say?
I mean, that was spectacular game right there. So yeah, please go check that out if you're interested. But this is not the only ZX Spectrum game that RuffledBricks will play, as coming up is 100% of nothing at all. Don't go away.